Let us start. When it comes to post-Mauryan economy, the post-Mauryan economy was built upon Mauryan economy. I always used to say that whatever happens in a particular time period, it has linkages with the previous time period. Now, when it comes to post-Mauryan economy, now this is the time scale. Post-Mauryan, we are in 200 BC to 300 AD. Before that, if we go back to 321 BC, this broadly we call Mauryan. During this time period, we have different agriculture, then artisan activities, then trading activities, both internal trade as well as external trade. Before this, if we go back to 600 BC, now this period we call Mahajanapada period. Before Mauryans, whatever Mauryan economy is there, that is built upon Mahajanapada's economy. Then, please come. Good morning. 1000 BC, then 1500 BC. So every stage adds few developments, and those developments accumulate over a period of time. Now we are at this point of time. By this time period, the institutions will mature. Particularly, the economic institutions become very, very strong by this time period. Please mention this. Here, we are going to say agriculture, different type of crops, then artisan activities, then trading activities. When it comes to trading, internal centers, external, please mention up to here. All of you mention this one. Now, imagine the India map also. Always history cannot be studied without geographical knowledge. Only when you have strong geographical knowledge, then your understanding about history also going to be very different. Please draw the map. Now here, in this location, Satavahanas, here, Sangam kingdoms, here, Shakas, and when it comes to this, Kharavela, and here, Shungas, Kanvas, and it is continuously keep on changes. In fact, all these belongs to Kushanas. These Kushanas, instead of India-based empire, we call it as a Central Asian-based empire, because Kushanas accumulated territories more in Central Asia. When it comes to India, Kashmir area, Punjab, Haryana, and up to UP, western UP parts majorly controlled by them. But beyond this, different dynasties were there. Shungas, later Kanvas came. Shungas for some time, Kanvas for some time. And here, obviously, small Indo-Greeks, for some time initial Indo-Greeks, later Shakas, later Parthians. And these Parthians also, we call them Pahalvas. Later, this is connected to the Pallavas also, different theories are there. Parthians. Now, this Kushanas is connected with the Silk Road. Silk Road, it goes to China this side, and this side we consider Parisian Empire. Hindu Kush, I do not have idea. I mean, you want to say what the mountains?
The name, like Hindustan has arrived very late.
Huh?
Then it was first known as Sapta Sindhu,
Hmm.
then was there at that region, and what like roughly time period. But Hindu Kush is the region people's idea of Hindu Kush emerged.
Today we use this particular term for which location? The mountainous region? Exactly Hindu Kush, I don't have any idea. But the term Hindu that you already know, Achaemenids, they have given this particular region.
That is I'm telling that like the name India
Hmm.
will come from the word Indies.
Hmm.
From Indies to India,
Yes.
and like that only.
Yes.
The Harappa is we have either Meluha or Sapta Sindhu or the Kangra or the Akbar and all.
Hmm.
So sir, I'm asking that is Hindu Kush the name that came in the history book, sir?
Hmm.
Like people had idea about Hindu Kush. When did this idea of Hindu Kush emerge with the people? It is due to the during the Delhi Sultan or before like Maharaja's time period only this
Exact timeline, I also don't know. I will let you know. I will take a look at that. You want to ask from which time period onwards this particular region is called Hindu Kush? Okay. As of now, I do not have idea. I will let you know. And this Persian Empire, and beyond this we have Roman Empire. Please draw this one. Then you connect this Roman Empire with So we were well connected. This is external. Now when it comes to internal also, we have different centers. Uttarapada. Now these are also internally, coastal wise also. By this time period, we got well established trading networks. Now, give the heading agriculture. Agriculture. Now, when it comes to agriculture, you just keep making one small map, not big one. Now, in later Vedic time period, what is the reason in comparison with the early Vedic time period? More agricultural activities emerged. What is the reason? Shift towards Gangetic Valley. And what about the technological change from early Vedic to later Vedic time period? Iron plow. So iron was the major. One is alluvial plain. So now you mention this. The geographical factors. Now by this time period, in later Vedic time period and Mauryan time period, most of the Gangetic Valley already utilized. Now during Mauryan time period itself, the technology of iron spread into different parts, and in post-Mauryan period, almost every part of subcontinent started using the iron technology. Now when it comes to geographical factors, we have alluvial plains, coastal plains. Now when it comes to Satavahanas, they started using the Deccan. So everywhere, every territory started using. So coastal plains, semi-arid areas are there. Now when it comes to water resources, we have rivers. People started constructing reservoirs, canals also. Now when it comes to rivers, Ganga river, for very long time it is already being used. Now in Deccan also, Godavari, Krishna, when it comes to Sangam, Kaveri river. So every river, and when it comes to Kalinga, Mahanadi. So you just mentioned this. Gangetic Valley, Ganga river, Kharavela, Mahanadi, Shatavahanas, Krishna and Godavari, Sangam, Kaveri, and in Kushana's northwest, Indus River, this Indus River. So now Indus River, Ganga, Yamuna and its tributaries, Mahanadi, Krishna, Godavari, to whatever we are seeing today, already now started implementing. After. This is when it comes to water resources. And even reservoirs also. Here we have Sudarshana Lake. So we mention reservoirs. Sudarshana Lake in Shaka areas. Both for drinking purpose as well as agriculture purpose. No, once a reservoir is there, that can be used for any type of purpose. Culture purpose also, religion also, agriculture also, drinking water also. You mention reservoirs. Sudarshana Lake in Shaka kingdom. Rudradaman 1. Sudarshana Lake in Girnar or Junagadh. Kharavela inscription talks about a canal in Kharavela. Next. Kharavela. Canal extension built by Nandas. During Kharavela time period, canal extension was done. Sangam. Channels were constructed. On Kaveri. On top of it, we have wells. Usage of wells also, common practice. Irrigation facilities. So, geography-wise, alluvial plain, coastal plain, semi-arid areas, wherever water problem is there, reservoirs also constructed, canal construction is also started. Now you can see the tradition. We are still following the same type of tradition only. This is. Now when it comes to crops, what type of crops were grown. Right, like this. Or before that, okay, you write the crops, then we give the technology. Cereal crops. Cereal. Rice, wheat, and you can see the present day crops. Rice, wheat, barley. Rice, wheat, barley. When it comes to Deccan, in Neolithic time period itself, we have seen millets. And that tradition also continues. Next, comma, millets. Next, pulses. Pulses. Chickpea, lentil, chickpea, lentil, green gram, black gram. Same pulses today also we are growing. Green gram, black gram, horse gram. Then oil seeds. Oil seeds like sesame. In Harappan time period itself, sesame was there. Oil seeds like sesame. And fiber crop, cotton. So cereals, pulses, oil seeds, even today also this is the backbone of our Indian agriculture. Then spices, when it comes to deep south, spices are very popular. That's why many Romans, they were trading with South India. Spices like black pepper. Black pepper. Fruits like jamun. Dry fruits like almond, walnuts. So we got evidences of all these in different locations. No, in a place called Sangol in Punjab, we got this evidence. Sangol, Ludhiana. So many plants, like around 300 plant samples were collected from the Kushana level. From Kushana level, these many evidences came out. Not Kushanas. Then you can apply these kind of cereals are going in across other areas also. Yes, in different parts, more or less, this similar type of crops only growing according to different. For example, when it comes to dry areas, you will find more production of the millets. In Gangetic Valley, you will find the crops like rice, wheat. Next, dye plant like henna. Henna. And next one, sugarcane. Sugarcane. So these are various types of crops. We have seen agricultural, geographical factors also, and when it comes to different type of crops. And technology. And tools. Different? Different heading. Crops done. First one, what we have done? Geography we have done in agriculture only. Then after that, crops we have done. Then technology and tools. Crops is the second point, second heading. Third one is technology and tools. Agriculture expansion took place. Agriculture expansion took place because of iron plowshare. Iron plowshare. Many forests were cleared. Many forests were cleared with this technology. Now, already in later Vedic time period itself, this clearing forest common in Gangetic Valley. Now, more forest in Deccan, Central and Eastern India. Gangetic Valley already much before Post-Mauryan itself, already it is in use. Now, new areas like Central India, Deccan and Eastern India, they also have seen huge expansion of the tracts of land. Now you see this, how many different type of crops. People were almost self-sufficient, you can say, for whatever food requirement is required for the people, they were utilizing this. And some of them even exported to other countries also. For example, Roman Empire. Roman Empire was very much fond of spices. Now these spices, mainly they are available in Deccan and South. That's why Roman Empire had direct connection with the spices with South India also. And these spices can travel through inside internal trade network, and from there also it can go and mix with the Silk Road. From this side, now here also we have textiles, and here also silk is passing. Spices are going. In this way, now it's like a completely globalized world. Whatever India requires, most of the products are developed within India only. We were importing less, exporting more. That's why if there is any concept of trade surplus and trade balance, we were always having trade surplus. Today we are talking about current account deficit. Why we are talking current account deficit? We need oil resources, but we don't have oil resources. Now we are importing from this place. Central Asia and West Asia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, from these countries, we are importing oil. Now, when we import more, naturally when we have less exports and more imports, current account deficit will come. But at this point of time, we were exporting more, and in return we were getting gold and silver. Gold and silver. Anything, even today also, if you want to make trade very strong, industries very strong, agriculture base has to be strong. And most of the people are dependent on agriculture. Agriculture must be very, very strong to make trading activities very strong. And this shows that agriculture reached very high level at this point of time. Now it made Indian kingdoms, they were getting a lot of revenues also from the agriculture, because agrarian agriculture is the main resource for the state also, land revenue. And on top of it, they were encouraging the artisans and also trading activities. Now, next you give artisan activities. Agriculture, After that, artisan. Artisan and crafts and craftsmen, different names. In order to understand this, we need to understand the setup of the people also. Now, there were many villages and there were cities. These villages, what is the main profession of these villages? Agriculture. But we have references in Jataka stories. There were villages separately for different artisan activities also. And it talks about like potter's village, carpenter's village, blacksmith village. Within this normal village also you will find peasants, artisans. Now they used to supply agriculture and artisan activities to urban areas. And whatever urban areas have to offer, they used to come back. Now some of them used to export also. Now rural areas and urban areas are already well connected through different routes called Uttarapada, connectivity, Uttarapada and Dakshinapada. These are the main highways you can think. And there are many small feeder roads also, which connected villages to villages and also villages to urban areas and from urban areas to port areas. So this way, connectivity also established by this time. If any economy becomes strong means, it won't become very strong suddenly. It always needs these infrastructure facilities. Well-connected roads, well-connected network and also strong agriculture base, strong artisan base, then only trade flourishes. On top of it, the government policies like issuing so many coins. Satavahanas issued so many coins, Kushanas issued so many coins and Shakas issued different coins. So all these institutions play very important role in making any economy strong. And these artisans were also having some kind of associations. We call them guilds.
You minted coins and they minted a large structure of coins. So that with the modern day modern day causes of inflation, that is more purchasing, people have got more purchasing power than the middle purchase, so the prices of the so at those times when these things like inflation and all these existed at those times. So,
Inflation, we don't have any reference.
there's so many if coins are minted, so people have got more purchasing power than it is. So utility of like this.
Guilds also used to give their own coins. Whatever you are saying, inflation concept also might be there because when guilds were issuing, so many guilds were issuing their own coins also. And at some point of time, this sudden rise of the prices of goods and services might increase. And governments or the kingdoms, rulers might have taken the less supply of the coins also. We don't know. Today, we are thinking about past from the present day institutions. We don't know what kind of mechanisms they handled, how to handle the goods surplus and how to handle the deficit on the goods. Whatever reference we have is there are different type of guilds, there were associations of artisan and merchants, and how these are being traded through traders. Artisan, agriculture people, peasants, artisans, and they were connected to urban areas and within agriculture, within rural areas through traders and merchants. Different guilds were also there. They were actively participating in the economy. Urban areas are also flourishing, more urbanization expanded, and different goods were exported also to different kingdoms or empires. They are connected with Uttarapada and Dakshinapada highways, and there are so many other feeder roads also. Connectivity through road and connectivity through ports. Now you have this kind of setup. Now when you have this much economic activities are going on, now artisans also have many works to do. So you please mention this. Now we dedicatedly write what type of artisan activities were there. Visible, not visible? Sanju written? Sanju, Anubhav, Kanchan? Written this? Now we are going to make one chart. This chart will give you complete idea that what type of different artisan activities or industries were there. Now based on raw material, we can think about this. Suppose if you take clay as the raw material, then we have pottery, brick making. We can make pottery, we can make bricks also. And these bricks are useful for the construction of different houses. Pottery, now NBPW, and more urban areas emerged. For these urbanization, bricks are important. Houses also now wattle and daub style, giving way to brick structures also. And if we take stone, then what type of artisan activities are possible with stone?
Might be jewelry for the common people, not for the kings, but for the common people.
So you can include semi-precious stones also. Okay. Bead making industry. Bead making industry. Construction, that's why. It can be used in construction and sculpture purpose also.
Like rock edits or inscription.
Pillar edits in case of suppose Kharavela issued Hathigumpa inscription, that is same stone only. Girnar inscription, stone only. Likewise, Naneghat inscription and Nashik inscription, stone only. So likewise, sculpture purpose also. And to make that proper structure, again, stone masons are required. Few examples I am giving. Now, when it comes to forest, in forest we can get wood, this carpentry, and we can get animals, leather making industry, and if it is elephant, ivory work. And ivory craft is so famous, other countries used to import. Food based products also. So these are forest based. Now when it comes to agriculture based, if you take cotton as the raw material, cloth making or textile industry. Textiles, silk, spices, now spices. And when it comes to clay, you can include one more, terracotta. Terracotta also. So this chart will give a complete idea. By post-Mauryan period, all these artisan activities became very strong. Even in Mauryan time period also, we have seen this type. So same thing, but when it comes to early Vedic time period, we will not find these many artisan activities, because that time their technology is limited and their tools are limited and their economy also limited. Their main aim was pastoral economy, early Vedic. In pastoral economy, you will not have the market to purchase all these things. But now, you have pastoral people also, you have agriculture people also, you have urban people, even you got the market of other empires also. And that's why almost every profession, now every activity reaching professional stage. Textiles, silk, spices. Now, agriculture, oil pressing, making oil, perfume making, in which raw material we can include? Perfume making. Which one? Dyers. So this perfume. And why perfume I am telling? Now you have to see this. All these different professions. Now this is where the historical debate, our society is a rigid one. That is what one theory, Manusmriti and other Dharmashastras maintained, that whoever started a profession and their children and their next generation have to do the same kind of profession. And other texts are referring that it is fluid and different people have taken different type of professions and they are changing their professions. When you change their profession, your jati also will change, your caste also will change. But over a period of time, that might have become very rigid if so many generations are taking up the same type of profession. Perfume making is, for example, it was called Gandhika. And why I am particularly talking about this perfume maker themselves emerged as a separate caste, and today we are calling them Gandhis. So likewise, because Gandhi is very famous and we are going to study also, that's why I have taken this example. Now same is the case with other people also. So this upper lower is again different debate, but purely in terms of how, in the first case, how these kind of castes emerged. At this point of time, we call them jati only. Caste is the term which comes only when Portuguese emerged. Caste, the term caste. But before that, we were using this term in the Indian literature. Only term is jati. So different, now different profession. One is profession, is deciding the jati. Another one is intervarna marriages. Another one might be the place where they are living. In coastal areas, some people, within Gandhis also, there might be again variations. Even today also, you will find in a different caste, subcaste will be there. So likewise, in the post-Mauryan time period, these professions are emerging in a very professional way. And generations after the generation started taking this job, and gradually they became different castes. For example, textile weavers, weaving community, it became emerged. And when it comes to carpenter, carpenter, then potter, pottery, pot making, so this separate caste emerged. So likewise, leather making, whenever something is involved with animals, now leather making industry mostly associated with Chandalas or the lower group of the Shudras. Ivory craft, it requires very high skill. Then a different type of profession emerged, different type of caste emerged. Likewise, different professions, so many professions emerged and so many castes also emerged. You maintain, you right up to here. And when it comes to jewelry, you can use stone, semi-precious as raw material, and also the metal. Metal next we use. Agriculture is done. Now when it comes to metal, jewelry, coins, coin making, iron. So for example, let me write only metal based industries. Gold, silver, copper, iron. Then when it comes to iron, iron is required for agriculture tools, and again artisan tools. Artisans also require the agriculture tools, iron tools. Now coins can be used here also, coins, jewelry making. Now gradually it became like goldsmiths. Then iron, different blacksmiths emerged. So likewise, goldsmiths. Then ironsmith. Yes, Mahajanapada time period onwards, these institutions emerged. By post-Mauryan, so much marketing was taking place, well-connected networks established. Now everyone got the sufficient work to do, and it almost became professions. In early Vedic time period also, so for example, copper, they know, they were called ayas. The term in early Vedic time period, copper, the term they given ayas. In later Vedic time period, black or shama ayas. That means they are referring to the iron. During that time period also, these artisan activities were there. But the scale of artisan activities limited in early Vedic, later Vedic, because limited geography, limited usage. But now almost entire India is connected now. And they are getting the marketing of entire India and also outside India. That is why every profession emerged as a different jati. And this is what those who support the fluid nature of the Indian society, they take it is the profession-based segregation of the society, not birth-based. But when Manusmriti and other Dharma Shastras mentioned by birth, everyone have to follow their own profession, that became controversial in our Indian history and society. You write here. All right. Now, when it comes to ocean-based or river-based, fishermen, so different now. This is the village setup, and now different artisan activities emerged. Now there is continuous interaction between the agriculture villages and artisan villages. And these artisan works became so famous that some in certain villages, only potters were living, only carpenters were living, because they got so much marketing also and so much need in the society, and they formed a particular village also. And so much forest area was cleared, and they were going and settling in the new areas. And now these activities were used by the traders, and they were taking to different places of the Indian subcontinent. Next heading, trading activities. Trading activities. It will be done. After post-Mauryan, so we'll start with megalithic. That part we need to connect to understand South. That will come after post-Gupta, because by post-Gupta's their kingdoms emerge. As of now, still they are in the primitive stage only. When it comes to Mehergarh, we talked about Neolithic 7000 BC. And when it comes to Northeast, in 1000 BC also they are in Neolithic stage. Now you see, it takes hundreds of years to reach these institutions. And in Assam, now still kind of primitive life only going on, Neolithic, then little bit agriculture activities, and moreover, they are very hilly regions in the Northeast. In hilly region, unless there is a continuous flow, when it comes to Northwest also hilly region, but there is continuous flux throughout the history. Culture and history is different, but in Northeast, movement is limited, and as a result, the development also slowly it moves. By post-Gupta time period, we see some kind of development there. In early medieval, you see good development. We will study at that point of time. Trading activities. You give the subheading. Factors behind the growth of trade. First one, agriculture, strong agrarian economy, cotton is produced. Now you can think even today also, Deccan Plateau is having the black soil. Black soil is popular for the cotton growth. And same is the case with ancient time period also. Strong agrarian economy. artisan base, trade network, improved both internal as well as external. Growth in the urbanization, improvement in transportation. For example, during this time period, monsoons were discovered, and one particular term is applied, or the person name is associated with monsoon is Hippalas. Hippalas discovered the monsoons. As a result, it became easy to navigate from the west to east. Easy navigation. Whenever monsoon comes, in the wind direction, ships will move. In the opposite direction, when monsoon reversal takes place, in the opposite direction, ships will go. And as a result, it became easy to connect West Asia and India. Now, internal communication also improved, external communication also improved. Urbanization. Now, all these, agriculture is strong, artisan, so many artisan activities, networks improved, urbanization growth took place, transportation mechanism like monsoon discovery by Hippalas, all these facilitated. On top of it, issuing coins, metal economy. In barter system, trade will not grow much. And except during Harappan time period, most of the trade was barter only because we did not identify any coins type. But by this time period, so many coins, like in different geographic location, Indo-Greeks in northwest, they have given issued coins, Kushanas issued coins, Shatavahanas issued, Shakas issued. That shows that already economy is growing, and they issued coins, and it helped, it facilitated the more economic activities and more trade.
So one thing I have always questioned in mind, so when this coins and all it comes in, it helps in traditional of the food in our side and also everything. So one thing is like, sir, if we trade with the Romans and the Greeks, means mostly the Romans we did. So sir, the Romans will have the coins of their own. We suppose there is a transaction between Romans and Satavahanas. Okay, so Satavahanas will have different gold coins and or copper coins on them, and Romans will have different coins of their own. So how would they measure the values? Well, from in today's context, like if 1 rupee is equal to 80 US dollar,
Hmm.
$1 is equal to 80
Yes, yes.
How is the valuation done at that time? Was there any written record about
That is only dependent on the weight of the gold. Gold have certain value.
forgery can be done, sir? Forgery can be done because
Institution must be there to identify which is having the less. That's what goldsmiths experts, which is less pure and which is more pure. They can identify. And without having those institutions, economy will not grow.
that is based on weight, in previous sense, based on weight.
Based on weight, that is what we call gold standard. Why you use this term, gold standard?
The amount of purity of gold based on
Purity of the gold. And wherever, whether it is a Roman gold coin or Kushana gold coin or Gupta gold coin or Shatavahanas, weight, based on weight, your value is determined. So that is why there is no concept of paper currency. No rupee, no dollar, no rupee, no pound. Today the currency concept itself changed. In ancient times and medieval times, only copper coins, silver coins, and gold coins. Names might be different. Dinars one person used, jital in medieval time period, copper, different. By the time Sher Shah Suri comes, the silver rupee, the terminology will change from time period to time period. But when it comes to the purity and when it comes to the weight of the coins, the same thing.
That means that times the coins are not measured based on the numbers but on the weight.
Weight, based on pure weight. How much weight, how much gold is there, depending on that, how many goods can be purchased. All right? Metal coins. Now, literary works mentioned dinara for gold coin. Dinara for gold coin. Then Purana, silver coin. Next, Karshapana, copper coin. Dinaras, Puranas, and Karshapanas. All these facilitated the trade, and now religious texts also changed their attitude. One of the causes for rise of Buddhism and Jainism is trading activities. Do you remember? What is the connection with the trading? Why traders supported Buddhism and Jainism? Why not the Brahmanical religion? Sorry. Why traders supported Buddhism and Jainism instead of the Brahmanical tradition?
Brahmanas did not do perform the business as a proper way. It was of the weekend and about the farmings and all, with the relationship with the farmers and the onions.
What is the attitude of Brahmanical text with respect to lending activities? It is a sin. Whoever involving in the trading activities or whoever involving in the lending activities, lending practices on interest, is a sin according to Brahmanical text. But whereas Buddhism, Jainism, they openly supported. That is one of the reasons why more traders supported Buddhist Jainism. Now, by this time period, Brahmanical text also changed the attitude. And Dharma Shastras talking about lending practices, and different text will vary how much interest you have to take. But per se, lending activity was not demonized by this time. And now, Brahmanical text also supporting, Buddhism also supporting, Jainism also supporting. Now, religious in general, the attitude towards the trade itself changed. For example, this attitude will keep on changing throughout history. And also now, if you see even in 18th century or 19th century also, if someone crossed the ocean, they lose their caste. That was the fear. One of the reasons for 1857 revolt also, some people were afraid when British wanted them to go beyond the oceans. And this is the attitude in 1900 or 1800 itself. Now that kind of attitude might be there at that time also. And that virtually limited Indians to our oceans. We did not go beyond the oceans on large scale. But if we see post-Mauryan, we are seeing that many Indians were trading with beyond the oceans. In West Asia, Indians were trading, Harappans were trading. Now in post-Mauryan trading, they are trading with the Roman Empire also. They were trading with this also. Whenever there was conflict within the society, and most probably during early medieval time period, these kind of notions might have evolved. But we don't know exactly. That is what, when it comes to, that is the limitation of Indian history. We never know that exactly at what point of time a particular institution took the birth. It's only a gradual process, only we can say. And when more and more attachment to the agriculture increased during feudalism time period, we are calling that feudal age, or after Gupta time period. Now more people attached to agriculture, and people wanted to focus on agriculture. At that time, trading activities were limited. But again, multiple theories are saying in a different way. Probably at that time period, these kind of institutions, these kind of philosophies might have emerged. At this point of time, you give the last point.
This notion that if a person would, especially the Hindus, it was prevalent among the Hindus only, not of other religion, that if a person would cross the ocean, they would lose their caste. So it's very ironic because the beloved Hindu god Ram himself did cross the ocean to.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Wow, Indian sources are always, you will find both type of stories. Yesterday also, for example, status of women. On one hand, they praise women. On the other hand, they limit the freedom on the women. So that is why always you will find both stories, and for common person, it is very difficult to know what is the real and which is the right path. That confusion will always emerge. The attitude of religious text also changed in favor of trading activities. Likewise. Okay. Now, trading activities, now trade routes. Trade routes. For trade routes, you need to just give the India map so that in one India map we can show different trade routes. Different ports also we need to show. And these are important for your map pointing also. Mention here Broch, Sopara, Mujiris, Korkai, Kaveri Patnam. It is also called Puhar, Orayur, Madurai, Paitan, Amaravati, Tamralipti, Ujjain, Madura, Pataliputra, Sialkot, Purushpur, Takshila. Mention this. Korkai. Korcai. Korkai. It's a port. Near coastal area ports. Uttarapada connected with this, this. Emergence of trade routes, and as a result, this became important port to connect here Machilipatnam, Puhar, Korkai, Southeast Asia, and this side West Asia. West. The West means the present day Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, then from there Roman Empire, Europe. Then in one map now these are all, even in map marking also you will get. Here map pointing will come important Pandyan port, Chera port, Chola port, Chatavahana's port. So likewise it can be asked. Now items of trade. Online students have done? Sanju, Anubhav, Kanchan? Items of trade. Next. Items of trade. Exports from India to exports from India. Just list iron tools, iron tools. Next, ivory craft, ivory, textiles, silk, spices, are some of the exports. And imports, metals like lead, then wine from Roman Empire, and wine amphorae, pottery, the wine bottles. And these amphorae we identified in many places, like there is one port called Arikamedu. You mentioned Arikamedu also, important port here, Arikamedu. When it comes to south, these kind of amphorae are glassware. We identified Roman glass, Roman wine amphorae in this location also, in this location also. So that shows we were connected with the Roman Empire through land route also and through sea route also.
There is no mention that Seleucus, after being defeated, sent wines and figs to Chandragupta Maurya.
He is not Chandragupta Maurya, he is Bindusara. Bindusara particularly asked, I want wine and fig. And that's now you see the geography. When it comes to Roman Empire, we are talking about wine. And Bindusara time period, when Bindusara was there, who were ruling and which dynasty was ruling this area? Greeks. Whether it is Greek, whether it is Roman, today whether it is Italy, Greece, Spain, the geographically this area is Mediterranean climate. And Mediterranean climate is very much conducive for the plantation growth, particularly wine crop. And today also, high quality wine, Italian people and French people used to export. And for example, French champagne and Italian wine, they are very, very popular even today also. And when it comes to India, Indian textiles are very famous. Bangladesh, they used to export the textiles. India used to export the textiles because this area is geographically were conducive for the textiles and this area conducive for the wine. Now technology is changing and new technologies are emerging. That is why, for example, Russia, if you see this part throughout our history, this Central Asia is known for military throughout history. Ancient times and medieval times, one of the important mechanism of wars and battle is horse. And horses, high quality horses were bred in Central Asia in comparison with Saudi Arabia and India. Local quality horses you will breed here also, here also, here also, but high quality here. And in modern times, high quality weapons Russia used to supply. And now the technology is America is also supplying, other countries also supplying. But for some time period, Russia supplied very high quality weapons. And after independence, we were mostly dependent on Russia for our weapon supply. And in ancient and modern medieval times, India was also dependent on Central Asia for importing the horses. That is why these kingdoms, they used to get high quality horses. And when it comes to Vijayanagara Empire was also waiting for high quality horses. But here Bahmani kingdom, they used to get because cultural affinity is more with respect to Bahmani kingdom and Central Asia. And these horses used to come to Iran and from Iran to Bahmani or Saudi Arabia to Bahmani. That is why Vijayanagara emperors, they maintained good relations with the Portuguese people. Because Portuguese, they were importing the horses from here and they were supplying to Vijayanagara Empire. So throughout history, this military imports is a common phenomena. Even at this time, Kushanas, they benefited out of, this area was under Kushanas. Kushanas were having high quality horses and they expanded their empire. Hunas, same reason they used to expand. Turkish people, same reason. And at this point of time, horses were very high quality. Why I am discussing this? Geography plays very important role in a particular economy, particular technology tool. Magadha became very powerful because it has the close connectivity with the iron ores. And when it got the power of iron ores in their hands, now they became very powerful. They expanded the territory. These economic resources and technological resources, whoever command, they become very powerful. This Roman or Greek wine is geographically very well-known area. They used to export that. And these are the imports and exports. Now, you give important urban areas. Important urban areas. Here you have to mention the map only. With that only we can identify. Now this is purely about urban areas. You draw as much big as you want because so that you can give. In your essay also you can use this historical past. Suppose if essay is about urbanization, Indus Valley civilization, first urbanization, Gangetic Valley, or the 6th century BC, Mahajanapada, second urbanization. And that second urbanization is continuing in Mauryan, post-Mauryan time period also. Mention this. Vaishali, Pataliputra, here. Pataliputra, Vaishali, Madura, Kaushambi, Kaushambi. Do you remember there is a place called Chirand in Bihar? In which context you remember Chirand?
In Stone Age, Neolithic.
Chalcolithic time period? No, Neolithic also, Chalcolithic also. Now from that time period onwards, it is flourishing. Even during Kushana time period also, one of the important cities. So this shows how continuously settlements are improving. Kaushambi. Next, Madura. Here there is another place called Sonk. Atranji Kera. Atranji Kera. These are many map pointings also. Madura, Kaushambi, and here Takshila, Purushpur. Sialkot or Sagala, Ujjain, and here near Karimnagar, Kotilingala, Python or Pratishtana. Python or Pratishtana, Nagarjunakonda, Nagarjunakonda, Dhanya Kataka, Amaravati, in the eastern part of Satavahanas. Urayur, Madurai. You see how from northwest to east, west, south, central, everywhere different cities emerged. Written? Particularly when it comes to post-Mauryan, they more focus on this urbanization, trading activities. Next one, politico administration of post-Mauryan. politico administration or Post-Mauryan. Monarchy. Monarchy. It is the known type of political system in post-Mauryan time period. Monarchy. King is the head of the kingdom or empire. Titles. Kings used to take the titles King of Kings, King of Kings. This shows feudatory. This shows feudatory organization of the state. Next, divine origin of kingship. Kushanas took the title Devaputra, son of God. What is Ashoka title? Devanampiya. What does it mean? Beloved of the gods. Now directly son of the god. So now kings are becoming more closer to gods. Now they themselves are the gods. Shakas followed. Next, you give satrapi system. Shakas followed satrap system, and Kushanas also followed it. It's like governor, provincial governor. In bracket you give similar to provincial governors. It initiated actually from Achaemenid Empire. Now you see the traditions of Iran always impact the Indian subcontinent slowly. Achaemenid, when they conquered Gandhara, Cambodia area and Sindh region, they created one satrap. That is the 20th satrapi. That means 20th province of Achaemenid Empire, Iran. And that tradition enters into the next generation. Shakas also adopted. Now you see this. Shakas came from Central Asia, but they are using the traditions of northwestern part of India, the Persians. Next, military governorship. In those times, only with a strong army you can maintain the state. Otherwise, revolt will take place, other kingdom may annex your territory. Greeks are known for military governorship. Greeks are known for military governorship. Next. Satavahana. Satavahana's political admin. Satavahanas divided the empire into divisions called aharas. Empire into aharas. Satavahanas maintained different officials. We have very few references only, not like Mauryans. For Mauryans, we have so much centralized state, so many officers. But for these small kingdoms, we have very limited resources to understand. Satavahanas had officials named Amatyas, Mahamatas, Mahasenapati, Amatyas, Mahamatas.
How does Satavahana Mahatma different from Ashoka's Mahatma?
No different. Earlier they were feudatories of Ashoka, and once they become rulers, they continued the tradition of Ashoka. Mahasenapati. Villages were headed by Gramikas. Headed by village headman Gramika. Under Shatavahana Emperor, feudal lords like Maharadis, and Mahabhojas. Maharadis and Mahabhojas. Now here particularly we need to see this. Whatever tradition is in Deccan. Now this is what the geographical influence. Throughout history, this is very common feature again. When it comes to this part, Indian tradition plus foreign influence. These Central Asian traditions, military governorship, Indo-Greek military style, satrapy style, and if they control here up to here, it will go. Now when it comes to this part, relatively foreign influence is less. By the time northern India is ravaged with foreign invasions, the Indian traditions are going to take refuge in this part of land? Indian traditions. Now, just to give an example, now before Indian traditions emerge, for example, the Aryan traditions, here itself I will write. North India and Deccan plus South India. When Aryan migrations or the Aryan institutions will come here, and here Chalcolithic, Neo-Chalco megalithic. Now after post-Mauryan time period, post-Mauryan, now in fact you can say when Mauryans are there, these will continue, plus Mauryan traditions will influence them, and Aryan also will influence them. Now when Kushanas or Greeks, when they hear, when wars and battles used to take place, now these traditions will enter here. And also Indian traditions will continue. Now you can see when Kushanas, Greeks, strategos, military governorship and satrapi style is going on, and when it comes to here, what they are talking? They are talking about the Aryan traditions like Varna system. Satavahana rulers are considered as the protector of Dharma Shastras. When northwestern part of India invasions are taking place, Satavahana dynasty was considered as the protector of the Dharma. When Turkish sultanates were, when this time Ghazni, Gori invasions are taking place, at this particular point of time, Yadavas, Kakatiyas, Hoysalas, they considered as the protectors of Dharma. When Mongol invasions are taking place, Mughal invasions are taking place, here Vijayanagara Empire is considered as the protector of Dharma. You see, when Hunas are, after Gupta's Hunas invasions are taking place, here Badami Chalukyas and Pallavas considered as the protector of Dharmas. So whenever here disturbances emerged, the traditions, whatever already being followed in northern part, it enters here and they become very strong in this location. When Ghazni invasions are taking place, here Cholas were building huge temples like Brihadeshwara temple. Whenever disturbance emerge here, it's only repetitive theme. Whenever new disturbance come here, and the existing scenario will enter here and they take refuge here. And that's why when Mughals are here, Vijayanagara Empire, and when Delhi Ghazni Gori comes, Chola, Kakatiyas and Hoysalas and Yadavas.
The central and northern Indian people have migrated to South India in a very large number and in a very large considerable states. So, sir, how can the language differ if the same persons have migrated?
I'm not getting. If these people migrate to here also.
So how can their languages differ? They would follow their own traditions, their own languages only.
Who? These people or these people?
The Indian people or the central or that regions. When the foreign invasions came, they gradually migrated towards the south to protect their own Indian traditions, Indian culture. So, sir, if they wanted to protect Indian tradition, Indian culture, why did the language, at the present languages change so much? Like one was Sanskrit and one is Tamil. How did the new language suddenly arrive if the same people migrated in the south?
If these same people migrate to here also,
how did the languages vary so much?
Language varied means from which place to which place? From this place to this place? Or this place to this place? For example, can you give one example?
Sir, like the script of
Yes.
The writing pattern or the materials on which they wrote, and if I the calligraphy also, then
Yes, the nature of the writing
yes,
is similar, you are saying.
no,
Different.
it's why?
Yes, this is geographically very long. Now here, Sanskrit emerged in which part? Now you see Vedic Sanskrit or later Vedic Sanskrit. And it was only oral in tradition. Only it was put to writing only after, during post-Mauryan time period only they were put to writing. But when it comes to the writing, before emergence of this, here also some kind of writing style or some kind of language emerges here much before the interaction started between this idea and this idea. Now gradually this idea will percolate, no doubt. But by the time here whatever language, whatever script they already started developing, it also becomes strengthened. And even you will see Sanskrit influence in Tamil also, deep south. But still, the pure Sanskrit is different, pure Tamil is going to be different. And the moment you go here, when it comes to deep south, the influence is less. And when it comes to this location, influence is more. And here, the influence is even more. And here, more influence. Because of the geography. And today, almost entire India is connected, very well connected through train route and road. But that time, here you have to see this. Vindhyas are there. And these are Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. People have to cross these barriers, then only culture gradually enters. It was taking a lot of time. That is why when new element comes here, already the local elements take strong root. That is why they used to maintain their own identity along with the influence of Sanskrit. Tamil, they maintained the identity, still they borrowed from Sanskrit. Similarly, Sanskrit also borrows from Tamil. Same is the case with Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, then Marathi. The original base will be from Sanskrit. And before emergence of Sanskrit, the original style also influence is there. But still they maintained their difference or the identity for very long time. Because of the continuous interaction, in the initial times, ancient times, very slow. Percolation is very, very slow. And today we are well connected. That's why the kind of interaction now it is taking place is very fast. But at that time it was very slow. That's why new elements will come, but at the same time old elements try to maintain the own identity. Geographic location and distance. And when it comes to this, this interaction is taking place, the outside influence is more here. And here you will find a different type of traditions. Kharoshthi script emerged. Brahmi and Aramaic Kharoshthi. Later, Parisian Sanskrit combination, different. For example, Hindi plus Parisian, Urdu emerged. So whenever new language comes, a new type of script or new type of language, gradually it takes time. But they maintain the original identity also. Online students, clear? Here you see this Deccan and South, whenever disturbances emerge here, the Indian traditions will take deep root in this part. And that is why you are going to see whenever invasions takes place, many people used to take refuge in South India. For example, many Kashmiris, they used to come to Deccan. Bilhana, one example, Bilhana. Bilhana was a very good writer, poet, and he was serving under Western Chalukyas. And he has written a book called Vikramanka Deva Charita. It was also around the same time period when Kalhana is writing Rajatarangini here. Likewise, many people, whenever they feel disturbance here, they come here. And whenever some disturbance here, they used to go here. This interaction is continuous. Cultural unity always Indian subcontinent is maintained. And this cultural identity or cultural unity is sustaining India for this time period. Politically, fragmentation. Now we are seeing fragmentation, Kushanas, Shakas, Satavahanas. But traditions are connecting. Culture is connecting. This is making Indian subcontinent, the nationalism in 18th, 19th century, these same ideas made India to become a nation. Is it clear up to now? Post-Mauryan, now you have to see how developments are taking place. Economic developments, politico-administration, and society. Sanju, Kanchan, Anubhav, and I do not know other student name. It's only 1 plus 6 is visible. Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Today we will stop here, and tomorrow we are going to finish Post-Mauryan. Art and culture, the contribution of these rulers for art and culture, religion and art and culture. All right, Sanju? Okay, tomorrow we will meet. Tomorrow we will finish Post-Mauryan. Thank you.